Hello and welcome to today's tutorial or today's training. And my name is still Bernard, and today we'll be designing a simple flyer like this. And this I actually did from scratch. I didn't use any template available in Canva, and I inserted every element and then just did all the necessary arrangements. And we'll be doing something like this. So let's get right into it. So now, you just come to your Canva homepage, and for some time now, I've been customizing my size, or giving the size I want to Canva, or the workspace I want to work with, and then I work with that, and I use that because sometimes those particular designs works very well with or on WhatsApp profile. So WhatsApp profile sometimes takes 4 square kind of design. When it's longer, it cuts some of the information off. So normally I like using this square kind of design purposely for WhatsApp profile picture. So we'll be choosing the 48 by 48, but again, you need to be sure it is on inches. If it's in pixels, it will give you a different kind of measurement. So you need to make sure it's almost always on default pixel. So you just come to select inches and then you put your 48 by 48. But I've been using it for some time now, so it's always in my recent. So we just click and then loads an empty page. So this is the workspace I'll be working with. Now, first things first, let's insert a background. So we look for a white background. So we click on white background and then we see all photos. So you can actually, for this particular design, you can actually work with a lot of options. There are a lot of white background options available, and this is what sometimes I do when I am not sure of the kind of background I want to use. I just select one for the meantime, and also as I've selected it, I still go down and scroll and look for another one that I think will help, or I think would look good. So I've already selected one, and I keep scrolling until I find something that works, and I'm actually looking for this particular one. So palm leaves shadow on white background. So this is actually the one that I used. So I just wanted you to see how sometimes I pick or I select my background. So let me just delete this because that's not what I found what I think will help, or the original one that I used. So let's position it, and then you know resize until it fills the whole workspace. So I think I'm okay with this. Now let's do this write up. Exhibition. Again, it was just some random information I just put there. So let's put this write up here. So we come to our text, and then we scroll down. This is what I use. It is in the recent, but let me just go down and then look for it down. So this, and let me write the exhibition. That is exhibition. Forgive me if any of my spellings is wrong. So exhibition, and then I change the color to blue, and maybe increase the font size just maybe to 250. I want to keep it at 250. So let me increase it to 250, and I think that's okay. So I position it and duplicate, and then put it side by side, and duplicate again, put it side by side. Okay, so now let me use the arrow key to make sure it's side by side. Okay, so now I think my font size is not big enough for me, so just increase it select all and increase it, and then as I've selected, I just group them so I can work with them as one element, but there are three different elements or three different text box, so that I will not have to be moving them one by one, and sometimes I may not be able to even align them properly. So since I've been able to align them for the first time, I just have to group them so I can work with them as one element, but at the same time also I can select them individually. So now I position it, and I think I'm okay with this. So I select this individual one, and you see it's grouped all right, but it selected the individual one. So then I just change this color to red. Let me undo now for now, and then duplicate this. So I selected all and then duplicated it, but I don't want it, or I don't want them to be directly under. I want to I want I want them to be, or the down one to be on the next, or under the next line, or under the next word of the previous one. I don't know if you get what I mean. Maybe not directly under it, but something similar. So meaning I have a mistake somewhere. It is not it is not directly under. So let me ungroup and then position them again. So now I use the arrow key to shift this so it is somewhat um somewhat directly, and I think this is okay for me. So let me group them back. So select all and then group, and then let me ungroup this and also do the same thing. So I use the arrow key to shift, and I use the arrow key to shift this. So now you see they are all perfectly aligned, if not perfectly, at least something closer to perfectly aligned. So I think I'm okay with this. So I group this and then select and then group them back, and then duplicate it and do the same thing for this. So it should go to the next, and I think I'm okay with this. So I think the positioning is okay. I think the positioning is okay. Let me try position. Oh, I need to select all of them. I was trying to use the arrow key, so I need to select all of them before I can position them well. So I think this will work for me. So now, as much as they are grouped, I can work with them individually. So let me change this to the red, and then also reduce this transparency to, let me use 50 for today. 50. I'm using 50 for everything. I'm typing it 50, enter, 50, enter, 50, enter, 50, enter, and I'm leaving the ones in the middle. I'm working with only the exhibition in the middle. So I'm taking, or I'm blurring out the ones on the side. So this is the effect I want to create. So now I am okay with this. I'm okay with this for now. And again, I may be moving this right up around. So I want to group them and then even move them at once. So then I will not have to come and repositioning again. So, oh, excuse, I'm not sure if I'm aligned. So I just come to do undo, and then the position it well for me. Group. Okay. So now I can move them about. Now let's insert this card. So in my previous tutorials, I showed how to download images from Google, that is images without a background. So for this particular one, you could see I typed CRV PNG, and like I said, when you click this is loading. When you click, and initially it was about a white background. If you see this thumbnail, you could see that it has a white background, but when I click and load it, the background disappeared. So meaning this is a PNG. But if I should click this is not a PNG because it is already drawn, or the pattern is already in it in the thumbnail, which is not a PNG. So when I click and lose, the background is still there, which I just don't want to down. I just want to try it. So I almost always look for the ones that is having a white background. So let's see this. This is having a white background. When it finished loading, you see when it finished loading, it came as it came without a background, and you could rather see the patterns. So this is actually a PNG without a background, so I can use this. So what I want to do is, if I want to download, I just come and then download from here. Now in previous tutorials too, I also said that you don't download images, or you don't download the minute it loads. You don't download from here. Let me close this. You don't just come and then when you see an image, you just click and download. You are downloading a thumbnail, so it is not the actual size, or that is not the actual image size. So you are not downloading the actual image size. So you just click on the one you want for it to load on the right. You see this having a white background, and then when I click, it is still having a white background, so it is not a PNG. So I scroll down to the ones, this is the one that's having, because the background disappeared, and I think this is also having, and the white background disappeared. So let's use this. So I copy. I don't download because I don't want to save the image on my PC. But that has a disadvantage, because this particular image is hosted on someone's website, or is hosted on a server. So if tomorrow I'd want to do the same thing and then probably use the same car for a particular design, and I come back to get it, there's a chance I may not get this particular design, because if this website or the server is down, then meaning this image is no more on the internet. But if I download it on my PC, then I can get it anytime, any day. Just that it is eating up my space, but I don't want it to eat up my space. So I just copy it straight from the internet and then just use it on my design. So I come here and then paste it, and then it comes onto my design. I like the shadow effect it comes with. So let me just keep this here and then just position it in front, so that it will be in front of the writer. I used a different car, but I just wanted to show you how to bring in the car for this. So then I already have those images or those cars here. So let me just insert this and that. So this is facing the front, so I'd want this to be in front, because it's more or less like a front facing, front view, front facing. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so then I think I have to reposition this so it will be the same size, almost the same size as the third one. This is 4x4, and then it's taller than this, so I think this is okay. And then bring this back, but it's also bigger, so let me try and then give it something close. So I think this is okay. Let me try and then resize, but this is still big, so yes, I think this is okay. So I position this to the back and group all of them, since I'll be working with them together, so that you see I can move it about. So I would work with this. Now let's insert this element. Let's insert this particular element. It's always here. I for some reason I like using this element, because it's round on the edges, it's not sharp, so it gives it some kind of design. So let me just use this and then change the color to red. So let me change the color to red, and then I wrote some right up here: 3 years warranty, free servicing, just some write up I did. So copy the text and not the text box, and then rather come to insert a text box here. So I'd want just the text box without any design. So let me just insert this particular one and then paste the write up in it and delete the extra space down. Select all the text, bold in it, and then reduce the font size. Position it, and I think it's okay, but it is touching the edges of this element I inserted. So let me reduce the font size just a bit so it will not touch. Now it is somewhat not readable because of the red background. So I would want to change it to white so it will be readable. So let me change the font color to white, and then boom, it's much clearer, or you can see it at first glance. So okay, we are moving on. So let's just insert this Honda logo. So I'm copying this because I just downloaded it and I showed you how to download any image. So I just searched for Honda logo and then I got it. So I just pasted it directly. I want us to, for the sake of the recording and then the time, I wouldn't want to do almost everything. I'd want to insert some of them. So I position it where I think it's okay, and then now come and write the names under it. So this Honda CRV, I just wrote something there. I'm not sure of the model, but I just wrote the year. Sorry, the year made. So I just wrote something beneath it. So let's say, let me see what I wrote here. So Honda, okay. So maybe Honda, because it's black, I can't. Oh, my cap lock's on. So Honda, and then let me just reduce the font size. Let me use something 60. I think that's okay. No, it still needs to go down a bit. Let me use 50 and zoom in. Okay, so I use this Honda. I can change it to uppercase. I can change it to uppercase, but let me just duplicate it and then use it and change this to uppercase and change it to blue, and also write it. So this is Civic. Okay, which one is Civic? Okay, this is Accord. The font facing one is Accord. So this is supposed to be Civic. So let's just do Honda Civic. Forgive me for sometimes I cannot differentiate between Accord and then Civic. So forgive me if I'm not able to differentiate them. Civic. Oh, not X. Let's see. And then just write any year. Let me just write any year. This is not 2002, but I'm just writing anything just to move a little faster. And then make sure it's aligned. And you see it's aligned. Let me see the color I used. Perfect. So let me bold in. And then just duplicate this since it's still the same Honda. And again, alignment. This is alignment. Make sure it is aligned, and then I write the Accord. I'm sure this. Okay, I can't differentiate, so let's just keep the names like this. And then this, for this I know it's CRV, so still duplicate this Honda and bring its alignment. It is, no, it is not. No, it is not. Yes, it is. No, as you keep doing it, you would know if it is not aligned. So CRV, so let's just say C. Oh, I did something. CRV, CRV. Let's say I think I clicked something. CRV. Say, let's just give this 2010, and then just position it well. And I think that's okay. Let me zoom out a bit. Let's see how far we are going. Oh yes, so now let's do this right in style. So this is how I did it. Okay, so we come to our workspace, and I think I clicked something, and oh, okay, I mistakenly opened my VS Code editor. Okay, that's why it's probably delaying. Let me just close it. Okay, so right in style, insert the same, and you realize I'm trying to keep my design clean. I almost said I'm trying to keep my code clean. I'm trying to keep my design clean. It's been a while since I wrote a code. I need to go and write a code, but that's just a way. So I'm trying to keep my design clean. So not using too many font styles, because when I use too many font styles, it may look, it may not send the right message I'd want to. So let me just keep it as clean as possible, and then use one particular, or use as little and then as minimal font styles as possible. So right, let me put on my cap lock, and then right, keep it that way, and duplicate this, and do my style, and duplicate again, then do my in. Okay, so now they are set. Embolden, bolden, and bolden. So I come to element, and then insert this one. No, this is not what I wanted to insert. So I just undo, and then insert this particular element. It comes with a red background. Okay, let's work with it. Let's see if we can work with it. So I position it, and I try and then do my arrangement right in style. Okay, so let me reduce this and bring it down a bit. Okay, I think this is good, and bring this to the middle. I think this is okay for me. No, this needs to go back. And the original write-up is, or the background was blue. I wanted to use red, but I think it's not working too well for me with the black write-up. So let me just change it to the blue. And sometimes this is how you do it. And for some reason, the blue, what color did I use? I used blue, yes. So, but it's not working well. So let me rather change it to the red. I think the red is even working better than the blue, because I know the reason. Because if this should be somewhere here, halfway, and this also halfway, it would have worked well. But because most of the write-up is inside the this element, that is why it is probably blocking, the whole look of it. But I would want to maintain this because I think this is more readable than the blue. I would want to maintain this and then probably change this to the white, and then let me just maintain this. This still looks nice, and then group them so I can move them or resize them all at once. So now it is aligning with this. Let me zoom out. And your arrangement, you need to make sure your design is aligned. You need to make sure the arrangements are in line, because sometimes, and not just sometimes, always, if your arrangements, or you just arrange your design anyhow, it doesn't look nice. And again, it may distract the whole purpose of the design, or what you want the design to say. It may distract the whole thing, so you always have to be sure. And yes, I get it. Sometimes you'd want it, you can't actually you can't be perfect. Let's just put that out there, or let me just put that out there. You can't be perfect, right? But at least you need to be close as possible, as close to perfection as possible, because it needs to be close. So you realize it's aligned. If I should draw a line, it will be straight aligned with this. So it looks well arranged in a way. One side needs to align with the other side. There may not be something here which is not aligned. I can also decide that I'd want this side to align with that. So that's it. So now let's insert our contact. So this is just a simple contact. Let me copy the whole text box and then just paste it here. Sometimes I do that so that my video would not be too long, so that it will not be boring. So I just have to insert some of the things I had already done. So let's look for location. And then insert the location icon. So I just want, okay, let me choose between this and that. Let me just, okay, let me work with this. So I position and then resize. So let me use, and I think it's aligned. And zoom in a bit to make sure it is aligned. Resize this, and I need to make sure the down part is aligned, or they are on the same line, and they're actually not. So click and then use the arrow key. Yeah, I think this is okay. This is okay. And then insert call. Insert a call icon. Let me change this color to blue, since I'm having some blue, and then go back to my elements and then insert the call element. Insert the call element. So I resize. And in previous tutorials, I was showing you something that sometimes I'm not sure of the first element I inserted, or the first icon I inserted. I'm not sure of the size, so I resize the new one and then take the new one over the old one, and if the sizes, and I think the sizes is okay, so then I bring it and then position it, and I'm aligned. And then let me just change this black to blue, and then the last one is time. The last one is time. So I set the time icon also, and let me just work with this and then change it to blue, bring it down, and resize until I think it's okay, then position it over, and yes, it is okay, and then make sure it's aligned, and the spaces is even, so it is not, so I just take it back, and yes, it is. And then now let's insert a social media handles. Let's insert the social media handles. So I'll bring in this element, and then okay, and try and see if the down part of this element will align. Yes, will align with the time, because the time is the last thing. So in this, yes, it is. And then resize it. I would want to maintain this. I would want to maintain the color. So let me just maintain the color, and then insert. I can duplicate this. It's the same font. It's the same font I would want to use. So I can just duplicate it, and then write Cas. I'm just writing a name. Cas. Because I don't have any name. So let me just maintain this name, and maybe increase it to 70. I think I'm okay with 70, and then change the color to white so it pops out, and you see it pops out. So let me insert my social icons. So Facebook, my Facebook, let me use it. I like this, so that I can change the color to white, so that it can pop out really well. So let me position, and then change the color to white, and then Insta, right? Insta. Okay, I have it here. And then also insert this particular one, so I can also change that to white. Now, like I did with the other icons, I'm not sure of the size, so I just hover it, and I think it's the same size. It is the same size, and then position it. It needs to be as close to the size as possible. And let me just and I don't like the edge, so let me push it there, and I would want this to align with that, so let me push it a little bit, and it's aligned. This is too big. Let me zoom in to be sure. Yes, it is too big, so I resize and position it, and I think this is okay. I think that's okay. So let's zoom out, and it's looking good so far, and we've done a very good job. We've done a very good job. This is just it's just an element I inserted. So now you could see that we are forgetting something. You see, there's some kind of a shadow, the shadow of the car under each car. So let's do that effect. Now let me zoom in, and then we do that effect and position it. So what you do is you actually select the image, and okay, so let me try and then do them together. I've not done them together before, so let me, oh no, I made a mistake. Okay, I think something is still, yes. So this, and then I already want to select any other element. So just the cars, they are already grouped, but I need to select them to duplicate them. And then now, as I've duplicated them, I just flip them over and make sure it is straight. So negative 180 degrees, and flip it. I'm taking it away from any other elements because I want to select, so that it doesn't select any other elements, and then flip it. Okay, so now I think I have to work with them individually because it is the option to flip is not here. So let me just work with them individually, but let me position and then ungroup them, and then just move this to the side, and then move that to the side, and flip. Yes, this is what I was looking for. Flip, position again, rotate. You may not get it perfect, so you just have to be as close as possible, and then just okay, and then flip this as well, and then position it. So let me cut off just a little bit so that the shadow effect doesn't. Okay, so now I group them again, and then reduce the transparency. Group them and then take it to the back so that it doesn't overlap anything. So yeah, you see it is pushed to the back. Now you see there's this one is overlapping, it's not making it nice. So let me select this, ungroup, select this, and then just cut it off. Select this also and cut down off. And as I cut it off, it's behaving some way, so just cut this off also. It's behaving some way, so you just have to be sure and know how to cut it off and then how to position, because it's overlapping here and I don't like it. So what I'll do is then I'll select again, group them, and then still reduce the transparency. I think I selected the wrong thing. Reduce the transparency so that it will not be visible by the first glance, or by just looking at it will not be visible. But you could see that if I should zoom out, you could see that there's this effect down there, or there's this thing that it looks like it's having a shadow, a reflection. Sorry, it's supposed to be a reflection of it. But again, you get the concept how to do the reflection. So if you realize it's not working, you can still use it, but reduce the transparency a little bit, and then it becomes somewhat. If you think you're okay with it, and then you just leave it. If you're not, then you just try and then work around it. But when you reduce the transparency, you try to take attention off it. it's part of the detailing. You try to take attention of it. So now let's look for, come to elements. We are done. We are actually done. Let's come to elements and then look for car, so that we insert the car icon. So it's graphics. So let's see more of the graphics, and I use this particular one, and then just position it here. No, because it's cars, we just want to just play around with some few things. No, it is not supposed to be white. Let's leave it at blue, and then that is not what I had wanted the focus to be on. So I reduce the transparency, so it will just be adding up to the design, just making the whole thing nice, but it will not be the central point, or the central point of attention. The central points of attention are the ones I would want them to stand out, or the ones that are standing out. So let's be careful with that. And we are done. There's a simple looking flyer, and it's looking the same thing. It's the same thing with it, and we are done. The only thing left is probably the arrows. I just search for arrows. And you could use this third one, or there's one that is it's about 5 of them arranged together. I could also use this. Let me just insert this and then look for the one that is, it's just a way to make, yes, this particular one. It's just a way to make your design look good. So change it to the red, and I think the red is not really working. I'm changing to blue. I think that's okay, and then take it to the back. Maybe reduce the transparency a bit. This is already here. Position it somewhere. Resize. Sometimes I have to be positioning till I think I have the right position. So I think this is okay, and I can resize, change it back, and yes, we are done. This is just a simple flyer we just did, and it's looking good. It's looking amazing. So thank you again for joining me on today's tutorial. And like I keep saying, you just have to keep practicing, keep trying a lot of things. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because it is only out of mistakes you can learn. Because if you don't make the positionings, if you don't change the colors, you would not know what works and what don't work. So you just have to keep trying, and then keep pushing yourself, keep trying, keep pushing yourself, make mistakes, and then learn from your mistakes, and it should be good. So thank you again for joining me on today's tutorial on how to design a flyer with Canva, and hope to see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.